Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. We are in chapter 13 and Kshetra, the Kshetrajna Vibhaga Yogo Nama, meaning the yoga of the field and the knower of the field. And in that, we had done a few verses, and then in the second verse, we digressed into Shankaracharya's commentary, even though this Bhagavad Gita is that we are doing is called Gyaneshwari. And Gyaneshwari is commentary given on Bhagavad Gita by Gyaneshwar Maharaj. What we were studying was commentary on Bhagavad Gita given by Adi Shankara. It was an interesting argument, not argument, discussion of looking at and logically coming to the conclusion that the field can never be the knower. The knower has to be someone other than the field. And this was told about taking the total consciousness expressing through total field. So we are individual consciousness with respect to individual field. One body, one breath, one mind, one intellect, and one causal body, Anandmaya Kosh. Then if micro is there, then macro must also be there. Then it was told from Ishvara's point of view that this truth that we are talking about, that is under discussion, the Lord, the mind, how should I say? First it was taken from individual standpoint, then it was looked at from the total standpoint. When we are talking about field and knower of the field, it has to be in the Prakriti only. It has to be a part of Prakriti. Because subject and object are coexisting, right? Can subject exist without object? Can object exist without subject? No. So subject and object, whether it is at individual or total level, whether it is at micro or macro level, they must coexist, isn't it? So we are not talking about Jivatma, the individual. We are not talking about Ishvara, the total. Then which knower of the field are we talking about? But then Paramatma doesn't know the field because he is all that there is. See? So this was looked at from different angles. समझ रहे हो क्या बोल रहे हैं? हाँ. What afternoon discussion we had today. Exactly the same. The field is the waking, dream and deep sleep, individual and total. The knower of the field is other than that. Then it was told, can the knower know the field? Can the knower know the field? That is also not possible. That is also not possible. Yet it is going on. in Amrit Anubhav, Gyaneshwar Maharaj says, can the sun come to know the coexistence of day and night? Cannot. But it is still going on, isn't it? From where we are looking at, we see the sun also and we see the day and night also. But from sun's point of view, day and night is invalid. There is no idea for him. What is day, he has got no idea. What is night also, he has got no idea. See? So, Ishvara is aware and the master of the total Prakriti. Individual is enslaved by the Prakriti, individual Prakriti. Both are with respect to Prakriti. And if the truth, I'm just going ahead, if the truth, if the pure consciousness, if the reality is all that there is, this is the analysis now going to start. We just got a taste of it. If it is all that there is, then it cannot take the position of individual, nor can it take the position of the total. Okay? When we use the term Ishvara in scriptures, we have to understand it differently. When we say the total individual creation is me, total creation is the... Okay, now I'll stop. I'll take my words back. Let it be that way. Ishvara with total Prakriti, individual with individual Prakriti. Now, if the truth, the knower, is all that there is, then you need something else other than you in order to know. Right? You need something else other than, separate from. Isn't it? But the truth is all inclusive. Then what will it come to know? Think about it. Contemplate. If truth is all that there is, then what will it come to know? Now that is the highest stand. That is the ultimate. But right now, we know the sun is there, we know the day and night is there, we know we are there, we know we are under the clutches of our 5 sheets. We are under the clutches of so many forces, gravity. We are under the political system, we are under the influence of that. And as you come closer and closer, gross, subtle and causal body, we are under the clutches of this. Naturally, for this person, the ideal will be the one who is free from these clutches. Who is free from these clutches? Ishvara is free from these clutches, isn't it? But we complain, we cry, we are miserable, we feel our freedom has been curtailed by the systems, by the society, by the nature. It is not allowing. Why nature is not allowing me to be successful? Why nature is not allowing me to expand myself? I want to be a real estate magnate. I want to have businesses. I want to be very intelligent. I want to learn all the scriptures. I want to have powers. But why the nature is not allowing me? See, why? Swamiji says, whiling and howling should stop. See? So this person, this seeker is continuously crying, or a person, individual is continuously crying. He is born crying, he dies crying. And in between birth and death, he is also crying. Studies are too much, responsibilities are too much, children are too much, wife is too much, husband is too much, parents are getting old, they are too much, traffic is too much, why don't people drive properly? You learn, you got the license, you drive. complain, it becomes a big burden for him to live this life. So naturally, a person who is continuously under burden, what is he seeking? What will be his goal? That I want to be free of burden, isn't it? Who is free of burden? Ishvara is free of all the burden. He has not got identified with the field. He is the knower and he keeps the field at bay, not allowing the field to influence. Knowing himself. Ishvara is he who knows that, like the dream, the Prakriti has become the total world, same way, everything, my potentiality itself has become the total world. And what is the total world for Ishvara? The total waking, the total dream, and the total deep sleep. Okay? And he is not under the clutches. He is not under the influence of the field. Therefore, he is the knower of the field. And that is true about you, every one of you also. But we make believe to ourselves that we are under the clutches. Actually speaking, you are the knower of the field. Otherwise, last class in Vivek Chudamani, this afternoon's discussion, exactly the same thing. There is no data with you that you have become enslaved by the field. There is no data. There is no logic. And yet, we live in our make-believe world, thinking, in our projected world, and who is projecting it? The mind is projecting. The potentiality is projecting it. See? And we get attached to the projection and suffer. To change this phenomena cannot change. Phenomena will continue. To change this disposition of ours is this 13th chapter which has begun. The student has very well, he had an identity crisis in chapter 1. Luckily, by grace, he surrendered to the Lord himself, who was his teacher. He says, I don't know anything anymore because you are smiling at me. Vivek Chudamani also, this teacher with a smile said, Dhanyosi, that great student, good question, fantastic. He praises him. Krishna here doesn't praise Arjuna, but he just looks at him and smiles. Arjuna, who is very intelligent, he knows Krishna, if anyone smiled like that to him, he would not be alive in front of him. But he says, Krishna is smiling, then maybe I am going wrong somewhere. And when he realizes this, he tells Krishna in the fourth or the fifth verse, what is that? Karpanya dosho pahata swabhavaha prachami tvam dharma sammudha cheta. What? Karpanya dosho pahata swabhavaha prachami tvam dharma sammudha cheta. Yat shreyasyat nishchitam bruhi tanme shishyasteham shadhi mam tvam prapannam. I am at my wit's end, karpanya dosho. My mind is reeling, I am at my wit's end, I don't know what is right and wrong anymore. Prichvami tam dharma sammudha cheta. What is right and wrong, I do not know. What is dharma and adharma, I do not understand. Yat shreyat syat nishchitam bruhitanme. Please tell me what is for my highest good. And why you should tell me? Shishyasteham shadhi mam tvam prapannam. Because I am your disciple and I am your devotee. Both positions he takes. So he can who is a disciple? Who changes himself on the instructions of the teacher. Perfects himself. Who is a devotee? Who complains, cries, demands, and the the Lord, he has to change. Devotee doesn't change. So he has taken both the positions. Sometimes he will request, like he did in the 11th chapter, no, 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 please, please, please come down from your Vishwarup darshan, I am afraid. Don't scare me. Lord had to change. And at other times, Krishna is scolding him, correcting him, directing him. So this should be our disposition. And then this seeker and Arjuna, and through him we are being guided, was when he was told the ultimate knowledge, he did not understand. So karma yoga, then bhakti yoga, dhyan yoga, then bhakti yoga. Bhakti yoga, karma yoga is done for purification. Dhyan yoga is done for concentration. Bhakti yoga is done for sublimation. Then Vedanta begins. After so many papad you have fried. See? After surrender, your mind has to sublimate in that divine theme. And what was the conclusion of the 12th chapter? In the conclusion of the 12th chapter, Lord says you don't have to take any special, special ingredients in order to invoke me. Patram pushpam phalam toyam. Just by mere water, just by mere flower, you can invoke me. It's basically your attitude with which you do everything, with which you think, with which you breathe, with which you interact, with which you talk, with which you take a step on this earth. What is that? What is that disposition from where? Are you seeing the magic of the divine expressing through the movement of the hand, or you have just taken it? It is my hand, it will move whichever way I want. Then it is nothing. So extreme awareness. And then Arjuna said, oh Lord, that is fantastic. But my mind, even exactly what Vivek Chudamani said, that if you have a glimpse of the divine, it is not necessary that you have realized the divine. Having a glimpse and remaining in that euphoric, ecstatic state, and then when you come down from it, you realize, bloody hell, my mind is still there. With all its issues, notions, convictions, it is still there. Something by grace at that moment clicked and you had a glimpse. But after that, you have to deal with this. The mind is still going to be there. It's not that you realize and the mind vanishes. Mind will still be there. So how to deal with this mind? How do I make that glimpse into a 24/7 experience, 365 days a year, a permanent state, not a state which comes and goes. Which are the states which come and go? Waking state comes and goes, dream comes and goes, deep sleep comes and goes, meditative state comes and goes, nirvikalpa samadhi comes and goes. I want to be in the sahaja bhava, natural state, continuously, without any trying, naturally abiding, being that. Is it possible? Now that I have the glimpse, then Vedanta begins. He says, for that you need to understand a bit differently. Now, Vivek Chudamani, we have started from 13th chapter only. Vivek Chudamani begins from 13th chapter. In few verses it will cover all the previous chapters of Bhagavad Gita, 12 chapters. Whereas here, Krishna Bhagavan, Lord Krishna, is very compassionate. He has put it in such a beautiful format that everyone from any religion, from any background can, if he puts a little bit of effort, he will be able to understand. Kshetra, the first verse said, what was the first verse? Shri Bhagavan idam shariram kaunteya kshetramithya vidhiyate etadhyo veti tam prahu kshetrajna iti tad vidaha. He said in the first verse that it's here. It says, this body, the Lord said, this body, O son of Kunti, Arjuna, is called the field. He who knows this, him the knowers thereof call the knower of the field. He who knows this. Who? What are you and me considering this body to be? I. Isn't it? That I am this body. So you cannot say that I am the field, I am the knower of the field. At this moment. But if you are convinced, a deep conviction is there that this body I am not, then you are the knower of the field. So does it mean that I am not the knower of the field right now? No, you are still the knower of the field. You just don't know it. That's all. You think you are the body. You are the field. You are identifying with the field. Then he says in the second verse, Kshetrajñam chapi mam vidhi sarva kshetreshu bharata kshetra kshetrajnayor jnanam yattajnanam matam mama. In the second verse, the teacher says, know me as the knower of the field in all the fields. O Bharata, the knowledge of the field and its knower is in my view true knowledge. What does it mean? What he said here. And this is what we expanded for last 3-4 weeks. I think we're talking about it. Yoga, Kundalini and Kriya Yoga, where lot of effort is required. If that is what people think effort is required, really no effort is required, then it is more smooth. But okay, they have such people, when they get into Nirvikalpa Samadhi, get into Samadhi Abhyas, they come to know that they are the self, no doubt. They come to know, oh, I am that, yes, and they want to keep going back again and again into the Nirvikalpa Samadhi. And that is, you can see many places, it has probably happened with you also. But when you come out of the Nirvikalpa Samadhi, the world as an opposition to me is still valid. It has not, the whole field has not metamorphized into one being. A river is feeling, if it starts from Himalayas till it reaches the ocean, its journey is, I have to get to the ocean, I have to get to the ocean, my beloved, my love, it keeps running. But after it merges into the ocean, does it have any identity of its own? It doesn't have any identity, isn't it? Same way, a yogi, Hatha yogi, Ashtanga yogi, Kriya yogi, if their direction is not right, they will come to this point and they will be satisfied that I know myself. And such people, such yogis, they want to improve the world. Because I have realized myself, I am a Paramhamsa, or I know the self, but other poor fellows, they don't know. Let me educate them. Let me teach them. Let me also show them what is possible through yoga. And then the misunderstandings. And then they spend their entire life in wanting to create an ashram so that they can help people, the poor, they have an agenda in life. That I must sit in Himalayas in a cave and send the positive energy to the whole world by keeping the whole world in my mind. Because I am a soothsayer of the world. I care for the world, poor people. I pity them. This is the end goal of a majority of the yogis. हिंदी में बोलते हैं कोई विरला ही होगा. Some rare yogi will go beyond that. And there are very few of them. And what is that? That he has gone beyond to? What is that? Here it is told. Kshetrajnam chapi mam vidyas sarva kshetreshu bharata. Sarva kshetreshu. Having recognized that this body is the field, I am the knower of the field, then coming to realize that this knower that I am is the same knower in all the fields. See, रोंगटे खड़े हो जाते हैं सोच के ही. This consciousness that I am is the same consciousness in every being. Then Sahaja Bhav will come. Then natural meditative state will happen, even while you are functioning in the world. See? And Lord says, I am that. I am that knower of the field, and I am the one who is functioning as the knower in every field that you can see. Then we explain that tat kshetram yaccha yadrukcha yadvikari yatascha yata sacha yo yat prabhavascha tat samasena me shrunu. Here he says, in the third verse, he says, what that field is and of what sort, how it has evolved and what evolves from it, and who the knower is and what his powers are. Hear that from me in brief, and in this way the whole explanation was there, and in that here one verse is there. Some unbelievers, so different paths were just mentioned. There is Aghori path, there is Kundalini path, there is Kriya Yoga path, there is Sankhya path, there is devotional path, there is path of knowledge. Path of knowledge is different from path of from the Vedanta. Path of knowledge is Nyaya and logic. Vedanta is coming to Vedanta. You know what Vedanta means? Vedanta? What it means?
What's the end of words, end of the Vedas.
End of words, end of Vedas, end of objectively knowing. Then if the words are nothing, the Vedas are nothing but words, and words have ended, then what is left behind? Who is left behind?
Reality.
And that you are. So Vedanta is not a process. Vedanta is not a second-hand knowledge. Vedanta is you. We are talking about you as you are. So But in general terms, we keep saying that Vedanta, Vedanta, Vedanta. But Vedanta is not a process. Vedanta is the end game. Vedanta is all that there is. The Turiya Avastha. So here it was told, some unbelievers practice nudity and while others shave off their heads, but their worldly battles come to a naught. The yogis started to protect these fields lest they should fall into the clutches of death. Meaning, they started protecting the body, perfecting the body. Why do you want to keep the body healthy? Why you want to live for 100 years? Who will want to live for 100 years? He who is considering himself or herself to be the body, isn't it? Only such a person will live for 100 years. And what is your truth? You are birthless and deathless. See how unknowingly we get caught up. Being afraid of death, I know a person, you go to Amarkantak, that is from where Narmada begins. There, Barfani Baba is there. 380 years old. And you can go to his kutia, you can see the photographs. I've seen the photographs. Every 60, 70 years he does Kaya Kalp. Have you heard of Kaya Kalp? Kaya Kalp is a process by which before you should be still healthy. That means around 50, 60 you do a 20-year tapas. Particular yoga, particular pranayam, particular foods only you are allowed to eat, etc., etc. And after 20 years of that tapasya, you become again sweet 16. Become 20, 16, 20 years old. Again you live for 40 years, again you do 20 years tapasya. Again you come back to 20. Lage raho, munna bhai. But that becomes the obsession. See, in the 2000 or 2002 Kumbh Mela, that was one of the major ones. In that, Devra Baba was there. Very, very famous, not to be seen by everyone. Yet he was living on the planet for 500 years. And he was there in, what do you call it? Kumbh Mela, and he was sitting on a machan. He will not sit on the ground, he will sit above. He sat above, and everyone who comes, he can see the face because he is sitting up on the platform, and from under his godadi, he just kept giving whatever that person. He just used to come out. Sometimes the dollars will come, sometimes rupees will come, sometimes rubles will come, sometimes yen will come, or jewelry will come, or clothes. He did not decide. It depends on what bhav the person is coming. And he will keep giving. And at his back, you can't, he has cooked in the morning, and the food is going on serving and not ending throughout the day. Akshay Patra. And people have witnessed that. So these are not just hunky-dory stories. Being afraid of death, they resorted to solitude and practiced self-control and self-restraint. As the attachment to the field came in the way of yogic practice, Lord Shiva abandoned his kingdom and made his home in the cemetery. Because of this pledge, he made the quarters his apparel, resorted to nudity, and burnt the Cupid who tried to seduce him. God Brahma was endowed with 4 mouths in order to settle this issue. But he too was unable to know its power. So these are Puranic stories. And there, Brahmaji, when he was born from the navel of Lord Narayana is not to be considered as Ishvara. Lord Vishnu can be Ishvara, but Lord Narayana is the ultimate reality. And out of his navel, the lotus came, and in that Brahmaji came out. He looked down. Huh? Nothing. Oh my God. Turned left. Nothing. Turned this way. Nothing. Turned back. Nothing. Turned up. Nothing. 5 heads were born. Because there was nothing to observe. He says, then why have I come? Why am I here? What is my purpose? Is there any reason? Who sent me here? Okay. Then he looked around everywhere. These 5 heads, could not see any single thing. Means he was the witness. He says, then naturally, then who am I? Who is my creator? Where did I come from? And he went back into the lotus and kept going and going and going and going and going. Still nothing. He could not reach the end of the stalk. Got frustrated, came out again, sat down. Now nothing to observe. What will you do? Sit in meditation or go to sleep? He sat in meditation. And while he was in meditation, he heard 4 letters. 1621. 1621. Oh, numbers existed that time. He heard 2 words. Ta, pa. Ta is the 16th alphabet of the Sanskrit language and pa is the 21st. Ta, pa, ta, pa, ta, pa, tapa. Austerity. Tapasya. What is my tapasya? What should I do? What I have to do? What tapasya should I do? I don't know. Again meditated. Many light years went by. Then one day he realized, I have to create a creation as an offering to the divine. And then he created the creation. See? That was his tapasya. What is our tapasya? He told last week in Vivek Chudamani class, what is our tapasya? To give up
the body identification
and
go back to the source.
Realize the infinite. We have to give up duality and become that one without a second. Be that one without a second. What is the tapasya of the infinite? To give up its infinite nature, or while maintaining his infinite nature, multiply into the multitudes. And the other way. That is going on, isn't it? You can see in the nature, that is what is going on. One seed gives itself up and becomes the root, the shoot, the branch, the leaves, the fruit, the flower. How many more things can become? One man gives up his one I, me, bachelorhood and becomes what? Becomes a husband, becomes a father, becomes an uncle, becomes a... so many things you become, isn't it? It's happening in nature. It's, but you have to become aware of that. And in this way, in the third verse, so that was told there, in the 4th verse, sorry, it was in the the 3rd verse was Tak kshetram yaccha yadrukcha yad vikari yatascha yata sachayo yat prabhavascha tat samasena me shrunu. In the 3rd verse it was told, what is this field, out of what sort, how it has evolved and what evolves from it, and who the knower is and what his powers are. Hear from me in brief. Then in the 4th verse the Lord says, ऋषिभिर्बहुधा गीतं छन्दोभिर्विविधैः पृथक् ब्रह्मसूत्रपदैश्चैव हेतुमद्भिर्विनिश्चितैः. In the fourth verse he says, it has been sung by the sages variously and severally in different Vedic hymns and also in aphorisms on Brahman that are well reasoned and conclusive. When we say study of Vedanta in relative terms, study of Vedanta involves a three-pronged study. First is the study of Bhagavad Gita thoroughly. Second is the study of the Upanishads. Many contradictions are there. In Bhagavad Gita also many times contradictions are there. But those contradictions become, you won't even see the contradictions. Only if you study deeply you will come to know. But only through exposition of the teacher will you find a solution to those contradictions. Because the context in which it has been told and all those things you have to see. Similarly, when we study the Upanishads, there also many contradictions are there. All those have to be taken care. But what is the purpose of Upanishads? The purpose of Upanishads is only one: to make you realize that you are that. Bhagavad Gita is also now telling, it's come to that point that you are that Kshetrajna, the knower. Don't consider yourself to be, I know my body, in meditation I am not the body. But after that I am. No, not that knower. You are the ultimate one. Oh, I know the waker knows the waking world. Oh, I know the dreamer knows the dream world. So I am the knower of the field. No, not that one. We are talking about the one in whose presence the waking, dreaming and deep sleep come and go. We are talking about him. So here, Rishibhir Bahudha Gitam. So what did I tell? Bhagavad Gita is the first. Second is the Upanishads, and the icing on the cake is Brahma Sutra. More than 500 verses are there in Brahma Sutra. Again, when we are studying here, we may not indulge in any contradictions, but Brahma Sutra, it deals only with all the contradictions coming in the scriptures, in the Upanishads. So many verses are there. It's very, very subtle. It's very, very too much logic. But in the end, what is being established is Brahman alone is. Nothing else other than that. So here it says, it has been sung by the sages variously, severally in different Vedic hymns. How it has been sung, we know, we have learned. Purusha Suktam we have learned, Durga Suktam we have learned, Narayana Suktam we have learned, Rudram we all have heard sometime or the other, isn't it? These are different ways. Ganapati Atharva, it is another way. Different ways are there to invoke different aspects of that one reality, that one infinite. And also in aphorisms on Brahman that are well reasoned and conclusive. These aphorisms are called, aphorisms in Sanskrit is sutra. Sutras are equations. They use minimum words with maximum impact. In English, you have to say and say and say. See how much I am talking. Verse is one, but how much I am talking? In Yoga Sutra, simple. Atha Yoga Anushasanam. These are the instructions. Now, in that itself, I can keep talking about, 2-3 days I can talk. Just the word now, atha, now, the instructions on yoga. The word shasan has lot of import. Shasan is rule, Shasan is instruction. So you can keep opening up the Pandora box. That one sutra can be opened up. Then you go to the next verse. What? Chitta vritti nirodha iti yogaha. It's absolutely, there is no error possible in that equation. Just like E is equal to mc square, there is no error in that. It is complete. Now you can write PhD after PhD. So many PhDs have been written on that one equation. The same way, chitta vritti nirodha iti yoga. What is yoga? Sublimation of the thoughts, not the thoughts. Chitta of the thoughts. Sublimation of the thoughts is yoga. Now, there is so much hidden inside of that probably 2-3 weeks I can talk on it. So much data is there. I can keep opening up and opening up and opening up. Every word in that equation I can keep opening up. What is chitta? What is vritti? What is nirodha? What is iti? And what is yoga? So this seat where I am sitting is called Vyasapit, where equations are taken and confusion is created. No. Equations are taken and exposition is given so that those who are listening can understand. It is not a cup of tea for everyone to cherish. It has to be, you have to be shown how to taste it. Because you read this verse, Rishibhir Bahuda Gitam Chandobhir Vividhai Pruthak Brahma Sutra Upadesh Chaiva Hetu Madbhir Vinishchitaihi. Now this verse doesn't tell you that Vedanta is expressing as in your three study of Gita, Upanishads and Brahma Sutra is required. It's not telling you. I am opening it up. From where have I come to know? From my teacher. From where did he come to know? From his teacher. Eventually, whoever, some rishi must have given it to the in the lineage. Who was our teacher? It was Adi Shankaracharya. Who was teacher of Adi Shankaracharya? Govindapad. Who was the teacher of Govindapad? Gaudapad. So the lineage continues. And if you don't want to go that way, when Adi Shankaracharya was 16 years old, who was his teacher? Who told him that now go and write commentary on all these scriptures? Maharishi Vedvyas in Kedarnath, sorry. No, Badrinath. On his instructions, Adi Shankaracharya lived for another 16 years. Otherwise, at 16, he was supposed to give up his body. He was ready to give up. He had come to know, I am the Kshetrajna. And there is no purpose for me to live anymore because nature has declared that I can only live for 16 years. And in that discussion, question answers with Vedvyas ji, he blesses him. Go, I give you another 16 years, but now don't live for yourself. Live for the totality. Let the infinite express through you. Write commentaries. The world needs someone like you. And then he wrote commentaries on Bhagavad Gita, on the Upanishads, on the Brahma Sutras, composed so many poems. Bhaj Govindam, Atma Bodh, Tattva Bodh, Saundarya Lahari. All this he did in 32 years. 16 to 32, 16 years. Built temples in Badrinath, Kedarnath, Pashupatinath, which still after 1500 years, they still stand the test of nature. All human, what we build was washed away in the floods in Kedarnath. But the temple is as it is, not even one scratch. See? Who built? Adi Shankaracharya. Who created the system of sannyas in India? Adi Shankaracharya. The 5 murts. Adi Shankaracharya. See, this cannot be a individual's work. Some infinite power has to express through a apt instrument. See? So scriptures. So what Baba is saying, that this seat is the Vyasapeeth, from where one word is taken and expanded upon, so that the mind can understand in the right context. You read the same verses without the commentary of Gyaneshwari Maharaj, you will get confused. You take the same verse, and I did. I was in Switzerland, I used to live there, and ISKCON gave me the free book. I was very happy. In Switzerland, I got Bhagavad Gita. I started reading the Bhagavad Gita there. I got totally lost. Every time I used to open the book, it was the best way to go to sleep quickly. Anytime I'm overtired and this and that, all I have to do is open Bhagavad Gita, tang. But I have to make a sincere effort to understand. And I know I will not understand. My sadhana was going on. I know Bhagavad Gita is very important, but the capacity to understand in the right manner, that was not there. Lucky I did not create my own notions about Gita and other scriptures. So when I heard Bhagavad Gita, it was directly from my teacher the first time. I didn't even know what Upanishads were when I went to the ashram. I didn't know what Upanishads were. All the other students are laughing at me. They say, you don't know Upanishads. You don't know Brahma Sutras. I said, no. He said, do you know there are 1,000 names of Vishnu? I said, I don't know. Then why have you come? I said, no, my teacher called me. I said, because my teacher called me. Oh, and he didn't tell you that, do you know Sanskrit? I said, no, I don't know Sanskrit. You don't know anything. And you get the best room in the ashram. I got the best room. Huh? You don't know anything, how did they allow you? I said, you go and ask, man, don't ask me. If I don't fit in, I will go. Okay? But don't ask questions for which I don't have answers. But how did Swamiji accept you then? I said, I asked my teacher, asked Swamiji that, Swamiji, should I prepare? He says, no, go enjoy. Did you enjoy? Yeah, I went back to work, I went and partied, I went to discotheque. And he said, but when you come to the ashram, come with an empty mind. So that's what I had done. And I had only 2-3 months in between, that's all. So he told me that come with an empty mind, study for 2 years and go away with an empty mind. And now I understood what he said. But these fellows were confused. What? He told you to come with an empty mind, study for 2 years and then go away with an empty mind. Then why come at all? I said, you go and ask him, don't ask me. See? In that one, see, it's a mantra. Come with an empty mind, study for 2 years, go with an empty mind. This is reformatting. In Vivek Chudamani, the student has come having worked everything out, that this world is not worthy of pursuing. Now he is totally focused. He wants to know. And in order to know, he has to be available. And to be available, you have to be empty pot. You cannot be a full pot. If you are a full pot, nothing can be poured in. So, therefore, in Vedanta, it's a three-step sadhana, if you want to use the word sadhana in Vedanta. to come to that to abide in Vedanta. First is Shravan. Shravan is to no, to listen, to actively listen, to be available for the knowledge to be poured into you. Not with the preformed ideas, preformed notions, preformed, I know this, I know that, I know this, I know that, and you have studied this, studied that, and when the exposition is going on, you are listening, your mind is by default comparing this with what you have studied, this with what you have not. You are going to the most messy seeker that Lord has ever known. And there are many things. There are many. You have to be empty. You have to be available. And that availability only comes where there is faith, where there is reverence, where there is a sense of greatness and blessedness in the environment that you are in. When you feel that what you are hearing is worthy, then you will become available. Mind becomes available. Otherwise, it will not. Then it will be another lecture. Then it will be another, another episode of a serial. That's all it will be. But if you want to make this into this listening to bring about a substantial change within your disposition, then you have to be available. This is what the student is being prepared in Vivek Chudamani. This is what Arjuna says, that I am your disciple, I am your devotee. Please overhaul my personality. I don't know what I am missing. I don't know why I am dejected and depressed. I don't know why I am having a crisis. And he gives reasons. And Krishna just smiles. He knows whatever reasons he has given, they are good for nothing. Because Krishna is smiling. See? Then even if the teacher scolds, takes the mickey out of you, it is all a test to see, is the mind available? You heard of Swami Chinmayananda? He went to Swami Tapon Maharaj. I told you the other day that he went and Tapon Maharaj said, have you got who has sent you? He said, Swami Shivananda. He says, what's the proof? He said, I don't have any proof. He told me, go, I came. He says, nah, if he has done, get me a letter. Again he walked back 210 kilometers and he came back. And after 7, 8 years, 9 years, he was there with Tapon Maharaj, and one day, this is the test, one day, Tapon Maharaj, anyone, there were kings, queens of the neighboring, that area, Pithoragarh, this, that, other, Himachal Pradesh, they used to come and they knew the great saint is there. They'll come. Anyone who comes, any Tom, Dick and Harry also comes. He'll say, this Chinmaya, he purposely tears my clothes. I got only 2 langots and I got only 2 kurtas, and he used to wear a long jabba. He himself tore it. And he said, this fellow has torn it. I don't know why he hates me like this. And he is tearing my clothes again, and I have to wear those torn clothes. And after a few days, he came to know that Tapon Maharaj is spreading this news that he is tearing. He went, he says, Swamiji, see, there are 5 holes, I washed and I brought back, because he used to wash his clothes. So I see 5 holes, still 5 holes. And Tapon Maharaj will tear it up, and he says, see, again he tore. And one day, Chinmayanandaji stitched 2-3 jabbas. He says, okay, I did not tear it, but anyway, if you say so, I'll take, here are the new ones. He says, new ones. Are you showing off your wealth or what? That you have the money? I don't want this. And then continue. He tore my clothes. He tore my clothes. After 2-3 weeks, he was pacified completely. He got so mad, Swami Chinmayananda, that he got frustrated. None of his arguments or that he did not do it would convince Tapovan Maharaj. And in utter frustration, not one dialogue, one word, nice word came out of Tapovan Maharaj for him. After 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, some weeks passed. He got frustrated, he packed his bag, he says, this I came here to study scriptures, I got it for 7-9 years, whatever, but I think old man is losing it. Huh? Or he didn't say in those words, but he just heard something is wrong here. I don't know what is wrong. Why is Swamiji Tapovan Maharaj behaving in this manner? I have not done it. I know I have not done it. He also knows I have not done it. But then why is he spreading these rumors that I am out to get him and out to spoil everything that he has? That also only two langot and two kurta. And he took his bag with the food pukes he had, started walking. He must have gone half an hour, 1 hour away, going back to Rishikesh. Tapovan Maharaj, after some time, some other disciples must be there. They go, tell him, I have called him back. Go and tell him, I have called him back. He went running 1 hour. He said, Tapovan Maharaj said that he has called you back. Chinmayananda immediate. Now he had 1 hour to contemplate. Tapovan Maharaj was not there. He came back. Straight away fell at the feet of Tapovan Maharaj, cried and said, yes, I have torn your clothes. That day, the real Chinmayananda came out. Because he was a very arrogant fellow, Chinmayananda. He was a lawyer, argumentative, big intellect, big ego. So how, in Shirdi Sai Baba, if you read the Pothi, in that also it comes, we saw one rich fellow comes. He says, Baba, 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 Baba. And he says, comes there and straight away asks him, can you tell me what the truth is? Baba looks at him and he says, Arey yaar, Diwali is coming, we need oil in the lamp. There were 2 kids, he calls the 2 kids. Kids, see if that Telu, Gangu Teli, he can give some oil. So they go, run out and they say, no, he says that I will not give oil till you give money. I has already given too much oil free for you to light the lamps. He says, so is this Diwali going to be without any oil or what? And they don't know what to do. Then Shirdi Sai Baba says, Baba, tell me now what the truth is. And he's listening to the dialogue between the two. He's got maybe 2,000 rupees in his pocket, but not giving even little for oil, but wants to know the truth. So, but Baba is not, he's saying, go and ask that other fellow, other grocery store that tell them that Shirdi Sai Baba has said that give the oil and he will give the money later on. The child runs up to that second shop. He comes back. He is also not ready to give. What to do? Why are they behaving like this, Baba, today? He says, I don't know. It was to teach him the lesson. 3, 4. In the end, Baba said, it does not matter. What do these people think? That they can, I am dependent on their oil to light the lamp. Bring me water. And he tells the kids, go, pour the water in all the lamps. And he lights all the lamps. And this fellow rich fellow standing there. Baba, you have not answered my question. What is the truth? He says, truth is 5 rupees. What is 5 rupees? You have, how much money you have in your pocket? I don't have. Open inside pocket, came out 1,000 rupees. He says, you saw me in front of you sending these kids so many times to ask for oil. Having so much money, you are not ready to give even, you're not ready to part with little bit also. And you want to know what that infinite truth is. Till you don't part with everything that you have, you will not come to know the truth. Go. See? These stories are not just for appreciation. These stories are to understand. This is the disposition we need. That we must not fall into the same trap. We must be always available. Always be at service to this truth. See? So these are different ways. So here, it's a big exposition. Here it says, the commentary goes to say, एक म्हणती हे स्थळ जीवांचेची समूळ मग प्राण हे कूळ तयाचे एथ जे प्राणाचे घरी अंगे रावती भाऊचारी आणि मना ऐसा आवरी कुळवाडी करू तया ते इंद्रिय बैलांची पेटी न म्हणे अवसी पहाटी विषय क्षेत्री आटी काढी भली मग विधीची वाफ चुकवी आणि अन्यायाचे बीज बाफवी कुकर्माचा करवी राबू जरी. He says, some ritualist, now he is taking different. Karma is the ritualist, then the devotees, then the yogis, he will also take like what we discussed before, but not, we were taking it from all different angles of looking at it. Here they are taking from different paths. Some ritualists argue that this field belongs to the individual self and that the vital air is its tenant. Now, beautiful part is Gyaneshwari Maharaj has also studied Shankara's commentary. Because what we have just discussed last 4 weeks will be brought out in a précis form by Gyaneshwari Maharaj. And he was only 19, 20 years old. Some ritualists argue that this field belongs to the individual self and that the vital air is its tenant. In the house of the vital air labor his 4 brothers, other vital airs, and the farmer in the form of the mind supervises their work. The mind has 10 pairs of bullocks in the form of 10 sense organs and toils hard day and night in the form of sense objects. In the farm of sense objects. Then, missing the steam of scriptural injunctions, the embodied self prepares the bed of misdeeds by sowing the seeds of injustice. How beautiful it is told. But who are having this attitude? This angle of approach? The ritualist. So they want to keep themselves involved in puja after puja, ritual after ritual. They are caught up in karma kand. Continuing, he says, Gyaneshwari Maharaj says, Tarhi tayachi sakrikhe asambhad papa pike mag janma koti dukhe bhogi jivu natari vidhichiye bafe satkriya bija arope तरी जन्मशताची माफे सुखची मविजे तव आणिक म्हणती हे नव्हे हे जीवाचेची न म्हणावे आमुते पुसा आघवे क्षेत्राचे या अहो जीव एथ उखिता वस्ती करू वाटे जाता आणि प्राणू हा बलवता म्हणवनी जागे अनादि जय प्रकृती सांख्य जिये ते गाती क्षेत्र हे वृत्ती तियेची जाणा लास्ट वर्ड क्षेत्र हे वृत्ती तियेची जाणा. What does he say here? Then he secures an abundant crop of sins once he stops interacting with the scriptures. Only scriptures can give us the impetus to go beyond doership. Karma kanda is full of doership, and that doership, yes, it is happening in good activity, puja, archa, etc., is good thing, but it is out of fear. It is not it is out of body identification, that I should not do something wrong. And when these people who are practicing all this, if this was the case, then every priest in every temple is doing so many pujas, they should be all realized by now. Right or wrong? But very few. The only priest whom I know who has got realized is Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. He was a priest. Now it is devotion. Will come, that will also come. Right now it is karma kanda.
Karma kanda is puja archa.
Puja archa, havan. But what did I say? Was it in this class or Bhagavad class? I can't remember. Gross puja, it becomes successful only when all the injunctions of doing the puja are correctly followed. The mantras are correctly uttered in the right sequence without any slip. Every act is meticulously have to be followed. Then it becomes fruitful. And no person can be so perfect. Mistakes happen. Suddenly a thought comes, suddenly mosquito comes. Om Sahasra Shasha, Purusha, gone in between, isn't it? Then, if the puja, the ritual outside is being done in the right frame of mind, with a subjective approach, then very quickly that outside puja will stop. Sometimes you go halfway and it stops. And it becomes manasik puja. So you do the entire ritual only mentally. Shiva Manas Puja, you have heard of? Shiva Manas Puja. Or any other puja. But it becomes a mental journey. That you bring the deity in your mind, you bring all the steps, the mind is chanting. And I went to one place, you know Vani? After near Nasik. I went there, we had gone with the group, and they were all chanting Lalita Sahasranam. And the priest had allowed us to come into the sanctum inside. We are sitting at her feet and we are chanting. And I am looking at her. She is ferocious, with her tongue out and all the skulls around her. And I am looking at her. And while this chanting is going on, it will go on for 40 minutes, 45 minutes. Suddenly my eyes, just looking at her, my eyes closed. And a beautiful young girl came in front of my eyes, of its own. And I'm watching the whole thing. As the puja is going on, suddenly I'll remember one verse that is being chanted, and there are 16 steps in puja. And one verse will become the, so we say, Ya Devi Sarva Bhuteshu Moksha Rupena Sanstita Dhyanam Dhyanam Dhyayami. First step is Dhyayami, that I remember you, I contemplate on you. And this way 16 steps are there. So one automatically, and I'm watching this, tears are flowing, I am not feeling like opening my eyes. How did it begin? God knows. See? This thing must happen. So from gross to subtle, from subtle to infinite. Don't go to causal. You have to bypass the causal. See? So from the gross puja to the manasik puja, mental puja. From mental puja again, so many mantras are there. Sometimes you will remember, sometimes you will not. In my mind, you are doing the puja. If you are doing subjectively, somewhere along the way it will stop. And slowly, slowly your feeling will come that, yeah, why am I spending so much time doing puja? I am in love with the Lord, so why not I take the name of the Lord? Then the puja will stop and the name of the Lord will begin. That is Namasmaran. If that is being done subjectively, Om Namah Shivaya, eventually Namah Shivaya will also go, only Om will be left. Om Namo Narayanaya, Namo Narayanaya will go away, only Om will be left. Om Aim Hrim Klim Chamundayai Namaha, all will vanish, only Om will be left. It must happen. This is one of the ways. There are many ways it can happen. But what we are trying to impress on the mind is, from the gross, from the out, it must go in. From the gross, it must become subtle. In the gross, what is the difference between gross and subtle?
Gross is done outside.
No, I'm not talking puja, just the term gross and term subtle.
Subtle is the.
I purposely asked.
One's the body and one's the subtle body, isn't it?
Why, the whole world is also gross. Body is also gross. So what is the difference between the gross and subtle? If gross is also a thought, subtle is also a thought, then what is the difference between the two? Gross also begins and ends, subtle also begins and ends. Then what is the difference?
One is with detachment.
Huh?
Subtle is more divine.
No, both are undivine only. Nothing is divine. Divine is only one. Gross and subtle cannot be divine.
It's with total surrender.
They cannot be divine with these eyes. But when you chant the name of the Lord and realize the Lord, then He gives you the vision, like He gave it to Arjuna, to see the whole gross and subtle as divine, and he got bloody scared. So, what is the difference between gross and subtle? We use it so loosely, isn't it?
It's
What is the
one
difference?
is more dense than the other
What do you mean by that?
in terms of matter.
Okay, yes, that's good. That's good. One is more dense than
Yeah.
the other.
Physical realm is more.
Yes,
more dense.
but both are dense. Only the what do you call okay. The density of matter is the difference, right? In the gross there is more matter. In the subtle, it seems there is less matter, but actually remember one thing: subtle is the cause, gross is the effect. So which will be more dense? Cause, the subtle will be more dense. But it seems the other way at this moment, isn't it? So that can be refuted.
One is without attachment.
What is that without attachment? Are you not attached to your convictions? Are you not attached to your past?
But you have to
Where is
drop-
your past? It is only in your mind.
Yes.
So it's subtle.
But you have to drop those.
No, I'm not talking about dropping or anything. I'm talking about what is the difference between gross and subtle. Simple question.
Is subtle more pure?
Huh?
More pure?
More?
Pure. No,
Which one is more pure?
is subtle.
Subtle? More problematic.
The subtle realm reflects awareness. The gross world doesn't.
Gross doesn't reflect awareness, okay.
Intellect, for example.
It reflects, that's what the scriptures, it's only a theory. What is your experience of the gross world and the subtle world called dream? What is the difference?
They're the same.
Is it?
Well,
Yes, both are dreams.
potentially.
Yes, potential. Really speaking, both, that is a dream, this is a waking dream.
Gross
But now I'm asking you to think differently. To find out what is the difference between the how you interact with the gross world and how you interact with the subtle world called dream.
Gross is at the level of intellect and other one is level of mind.
One is physical, one is in the mind. Good. What is gross? So take one gross. What's your Anjali? Anjali is gross. It's an object. It's separate to me. She is different to me. I have the thought Anjali in my mind, but what that thought represents is outside the mind.
Also you can see.
You can experience. Oh, subtle also you can experience. But the thought Anjali is in my mind, but the body Anjali is outside the mind. The thought cup, I say the cup, I think the cup, but the cup that I am talking about is outside. I can point to it, I can interact with it, I can break it, I can make it, whatever. But it's outside. The object and the thought of the object are separate. That is gross. Where the object and the thought of object are separate. Understand?
That is gross.
That is gross. What is subtle? The object and the thought of the object, both are in the mind. Ganti Bhaji? Interesting, no? Suddenly a whole new way of looking at everything comes about. So, gross, the object and the thought of the object are separate. In subtle, the object and the thought of the object both are in the mind. And in causal, the object and the thought of the object are unmanifest. Vaikhari Madhyama Pashanti. Vaikhari, the word is other than what you are taking the word Ram, and the statue of the Ram is there, isn't it? Madhyama, Ram is in the mind, the picture of the picture or the name is also in the mind. Pashyanti, Vaikhari Madhyama Pashyanti. Pashyanti, the object Ram and the name Ram both are unmanifest. You that you have to practice. It will not. Don't try to work it out. Practice. Where is the whole world before you wake up in the morning?
In the mind.
Unmanifest in the mind, isn't it?
The deep sleep it is unmanifest.
It is unmanifest.
You don't
But you
experience
are
it, it is
but you are ignorant of it. When you start chanting the name of the Lord, consciously you are making the gross sound into subtle sound into no sound. And you still remain aware. Vaikhari Madhyama Pashyanti. And as long as you remain aware, then it goes to Para. That is Paramatma only.
One.
See? So, all that is extra information for him. Important thing is, what is gross? Say,
And
thought and the object.
one person.
no,
Say,
the object and the thought both are. So
no, not thought. Thought can be of anything. The object and the, it has to be correct. The object and the thought of the object. Thought of the object. The thought can be any thought.
Object and the thought of the object
Are separate. Subtle is,
Object
and the thought of the object are
Not in the mind.
in the mind. Are in the mind. And in the causal, the object and the thought of the object both are unmanifest. How they are unmanifest? Now this is not the point. I don't know why I went into this. Who wants to talk about karma kand and all that? Huh? Like a seed which has been watered, it is under the soil, the root and the shoot have not come out yet. But the life is pulsating inside of it. All potentiality is there to become the root, shoot, branches, trees, everything is possible. But it has not broken the outer layer yet.
But what is subtle and what is gross when the subtle can affect the gross world? For example, the thought can affect the body, the gross body, even at a distance, let's say the other side of the world.
True.
Yeah, healers do it.
Yes. But then where is the whole world?
So it's all sitting in some universal
Where
mind
is the whole world?
inside my...
Inside.
Well, which is out here, actually.
It's in your mind, isn't it? We should just not use the word our mind. It's in the mind. It's in the mind. We think minds are separate, but mind is only one. According to Vedanta or according to the scriptures, mind is only one. The soul is only one. It's not many souls. Initially they begin, then after they throw away that theory. As long as you are doing karma, that is what Gyaneshwari Maharaj is. As long as you are doing karma, you are doing it out of fear. You want to collect more merit, you don't want to commit sin, and they think that only by doing rituals you can purify yourself. No, he says, until unless you don't study the scriptures along with doing the rituals and continue to unfold it. Karma kand or the rituals are to make you focused. Rituals are there so that you don't go the wrong way in life. But that's not the end game of life. The end game is to be the one with the divine or be the divine. And for that, the path is not just mechanical rituals. For that, the path is the study of scriptures along with the rituals. And that's what he says here. He says, then he secures an abundant, and if he is not studying the scriptures, then he secures an abundant crop of sins, as a result of which he suffers pain in many births. On the other hand, if after making certain of the availability of the steam in the form of scriptural injunctions, he sows the seeds of meritorious deeds, he enjoys happiness in many births. A very simple, you are doing a fire sacrifice and you are saying Om Namah Shivaya Swaha, Om Namah Shivaya Swaha, Om Namah Shivaya Swaha. It can be a mechanical thing or it can be a subjective journey. Action can be the same, but what is your disposition within will determine whether it takes you from the gross action into the state of witnessing or you remain mechanically. And if it becomes mechanical after, and if you have to do it, Shivratri we used to do whole night. And when you are doing it, it's a challenge. You start doing after half an hour, 45 minutes, 1 hour, for fantastic, full. After that, Om Namah Shivaya Swaha. You have to wake up. Why? Because it was becoming mechanical. It was becoming repetitive. how you make a repetitive thing into a subject, into a inspiring thing? Only by becoming subjective. Only by becoming subjective. Because what is being talked about, Om Namah Shivaya Swaha, that I am inside must be. That He is not other than me, that He is in my heart. This fire in which I am throwing the oblations, oh my God, this fire is the fire which is burning within me. This fire is sustaining the whole creation. When you start in the background, you keep contemplating in this manner while the action is being performed outside. See, what is this subjective? Subjective, another way example, Panchadashi example. A woman, married woman with children, goes shopping every day, vegetable shopping. One man is following her. First day she looks at her. Second day again, same shop, again he comes. Again he comes and stands next to her. She says, what is this fellow, Goes away. Now 2 days it has happened continuously. First day he was looking at her, she saw he's looking at me. Next day he came and stood next to her. Third day she goes to get the tomato. He also picks up the same tomato and the hands touch. Reacts. क्या कर रहे हैं? What are you doing? Third day goes away. Now, first day he was noticing her. Second day he was standing close to her. Third day he touched her. Fourth day they were in love. It's that quick. It's that quick. Don't try. Now, she is always now waiting to be in his arms. But she cannot disturb her family. This comes in Panchadashi, this example. I'm not making it up. And she doesn't want to disturb the family. Now, because she's continuously thinking of the beloved, inspiration is coming. And she becomes even more perfect doing all her duties at home. Nothing is going missing. Children are taken care of, food is perfect, house is perfect, she is perfect. Nothing. She doesn't miss anything on a daily basis. And where is the inspiration? Why this inspiration was not there before? Because it was repetitive. Now that same repetitive thing has got an added inspiration. That I must do it as quickly and as perfectly as possible, so that without any doubt with anyone that I'm missing out or not missing out, that I'm being lax. And that inspiration is coming from the love that she's having for that extramarital affair. So, we are also doing repetitive actions in this world. We also have to have an extra affair with the self. Be subjective. Don't love the object. See, we must use the object and come to the goal. But what happens is, we use the self to love the object. Our approach is totally upside down. See? These shifts have to take place. So here he says that he enjoys happiness in many births by doing the good deed, meritorious deeds. And how does he bring about collects merit in his life? By studies of scriptures and performing the rituals perfectly. On this, some others, that is Sankhyas, say that this field does not belong to the self and that this matter should be referred to them for a decision, means to the Sankhyas for a decision. Who are the Sankhyas? Yogis. In this field, they say the self dwells as a wayfarer for a short time, and the vital air is a field watchman who keeps awake day and night and protects him. The field is the hereditary estate of the beginningless Prakriti, whose fame is sung by the Sankhya thinkers. According to Sankhya, the basic premise is there is one soul per
person.
body.
But
In the ritualist, those having a ritualistic bent, अरे सर 9:15 हो गया. Story was going too much. Oh my God. Huh? Quickly we'll look at it next week. So in the ritualistic, he was not worried about soul or no soul. He was worried about enjoying in heaven. Huh? He wanted a good life. And for that, his basic disposition is, I must do good deeds. I must do my duty. Duty towards the God, duty towards the family, duty towards the world, and it is the right thing. And a good, dutiful person studies scriptures, chants Ramayana, chants this mantra, chants that mantra. All this he does, studies a little bit, enjoys the stories, so that I am collecting merit. Gives donation, and by that I will not do wrong with anyone. And this way I am collecting merits. With collecting merits I will go to heaven, and next after that when I come back on the earth, I will get a good family where I can continue collecting merits. That's all there is. Whereas Sankhya is what I explained to you at the beginning of this class. He believes that he has come to know the truth, but others are still ignorant, because he believes the basic understanding for him is there is consciousness per person. There is soul, one soul per person. There are many souls. This is his disposition, and it's okay. Vedanta also initially takes that, but then goes beyond it. And what happens afterwards, we'll say it next week. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnahat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Just sit quietly.